Okay. So guys, yesterday we have already seen some introduction and all those things. Okay, let's today move ahead. Okay. Uh, and let us see something more on this. Okay. So guys, so before we move ahead, so now guys, today we are starting with the Azure Data Factory. Okay. So when we talk about the Azure Data Factory, okay, guys, when we talk about the Azure Data Factory, the Azure Data Factory is what? It is a cloud service. It is a cloud service. And this cloud service is provided by Microsoft. This cloud service is provided by Microsoft, where this service is provided to perform the data summarization. It is used to perform the data summarization. It is used to perform the data summarization. Okay. So what is this? ADF is a cloud service, and this cloud service is provided by the Microsoft, to perform the job of data summarization. Whereas this data summarization is nothing but it can be done. This data summarization can be done by using a technique called ETL, where this ETL, guys, everyone, so where this ETL is nothing but it is the technique, okay, it is the technique which is provided to perform the job of data summarization. This technique is provided to perform the job of data summarization, wherein this particular technique called ETL, what is it? ETL require two things. What is that? The first and foremost thing which is required, by the technique called ETL is nothing but is referred as the source. Whereas the second one is, which is nothing but required by the technique called ETL, is nothing but the destination, or we can also refer it as the target. We can also refer it as what, guys? Target. Okay, target. Whereas between the source and the target, we use the technique called, what is that? ETL. We use the technique called, what is that? ETL. Between the source and the target, we use the technique called what? ETL. Or we can also say one more technique. The ETL is the old technique, and the latest technique which is right now coming up, it is ELT. That is called as what? ELT. So we can use either one of the technique here, ETL or ELT, anything. Okay. So right now, even many the companies are, there is nothing, they're moving ahead to use the ELT. Anyways, I will tell you what is the basic difference you have between the ETL and ELT. Okay. Whereas when we talk about the ETL, so ETL is nothing but it is, the abbreviation of ETL is extraction, transformation, and next one is loading. Extraction, transformation, and loading. Whereas the ELT stands for what? Extraction, loading, then transformation. Extraction, loading, then transformation. So whereas these are the, can you see here, these are the techniques we have it here. What is that? ETL and ELT. Both performs the same job. Actually, both performs the almost all same job it does. Both, that is the ELT or ETL, whatever you have it, both performs the same job. But the only thing is that the ETL is nothing but it is basically that is nothing but that is both perform the same job. That is the ETL or ELT, whatever it may be. Okay. So what is the job it performs? It performs the job of data summarization. Data summarization. Data summarization. Yes, everybody is following. Please tell me, guys. I want a reply. I want the session to be a bit interactive. Yeah, okay. So now ETL or ELT. So whereas what is the source basically? When we talk about the source, source is nothing but what? Actually, this is the source of data. This is nothing but called as what? Source of data. What is source? Source is nothing but it is called as what? Source of data. So guys, suppose I'm using a word called source of income. So every one of us has the source of income. Am I right? Hello. Every one of us has the source of income. What do you mean by source of income?
From where we are earning the money.
Yeah, from where we get the money is nothing but source of income. In the same way, source of data means what? The source from where we get the data. Data means what, guys? Data is nothing but information. Data means what? Information. Source of data is nothing but a place or the source from where we get the information is called as what? Source of information is called as what? Source of information, where we can have the following source of information. That means we can get the data from the following sources. What is that? From the following source we get the data. So when we talk about the information, basically this information we can get it basically from what? From the business only. From the business. Ultimately, we get the data from what? From the business. We get the data from what? We get the data from the business ultimately. Okay. We get the data from what? Business only. We get the data always from the business. We always get the data from what's it? Business, obviously. Okay. Whereas what type of business or what type of thing we can get the data from what's that? Social networking sites. Social networking sites. Social networking sites. Now tell me, guys, what do you mean by social networking sites? Can somebody tell me? Yeah, guys, everyone.
Facebook, Telegram.
Yeah.
Instagram, Telegram.
Yes, very good. So we can say what? Facebook. Then we have Twitter, Instagram. Okay, then Insta we have it. Okay, then we have what's it? WhatsApp, etc., etc. These are all the social networking sites. So we can say that we get the data from all this business. It's a business only. Am I right or not? These are all the business. So these all are the business which generates the data. Which generates the data. Apart from this, guys, what is the another business from where we can expect the data? Yes, we can expect the data from social networking sites. And what are the other thing we have it? So we can say that human generated data. Human generated data. That means the data which is generated by you and me. The data which is generated by you and me is referred as what? Human generated data. Human generated data is nothing but the data which is generated by you and me are called as what? Human generated data is called as what? Human generated data. The data which is generated by you and me is called as what? Human generated data. That means we can generate the data, we can generate the information in various forms. Okay. So anyways, we will see that. Now, what is the other business from where we get the data? Yes, guys. What is the other business? Any idea? So we can say that machine generated data. Machine generated data means what? The data generated by machinery, such as what? Okay, suppose guys, you go to this, suppose we go to this diagnostic center and we take what is that? We go to the diagnostic center and we suppose somebody of us wants okay, some is scanning, okay, some scanning. So we go with what? Some CT scan machine or X-ray machine, or even you have the ECG machine. All these are the machineries. But whereas what? This generates data. This also generates what? Data. So we can say that all this is the data which is generated by the machine, which is called as what? Machine generated data, which is called as what? Machine generated data. Whereas apart from this, one more, what is that you have it? These are some of the listed, you can say, but we can get the data from many other sources also. That is called as what? Banking applications. We can get it from what? Banking applications. So these are all the various sources of getting the data, we can say. Okay. Whereas this data, guys, everyone, whereas this data is called as what? Big data. It is called as what, guys? Big data. So what do you mean big data? Big, don't get panic when I'm using the word called big data. Okay, because whenever I'm using the word called big data, don't get panic. Nothing is there. Big means what? Big means what? Huge. Big means what? Huge, massive. And now guys, data means what? Information. Am I right or not? Data means what? Information. So now we can say that big data is nothing but what? Huge information is called as what? Big data, nothing else, guys. Huge data is nothing but massive amount of data, or huge data, or data in a massive quantity is referred as what? Big data is called as what, guys? Big data. This is called as what? Big data. So big data is nothing but the massive amount of data. And from where does we get this massive amount of data? Ultimately, we get it from the business. What type of business? From the social networking sites, from the, that is by the human generated data. It can be human generated data, and from the machinery, that is data generated by the machinery, and data generated by the banking applications, etc. So these are all the various sources of getting the big data. So now the source of data is what? The source of data is what? This is nothing but the source of data, we can say. Getting my point? Everyone is clear? Following?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I want all of you to speak out, guys.
Yes.
Okay, now, so this is nothing but the big data. So we have it. So now, guys, when we talk about, yeah, the next one. When we talk about the data, see here, the big data, everything is recorded. But now, the big data generated by these businesses, okay, but the big data which is generated by these business entities or this business, whereas ultimately, how does the data is recorded? This data is recorded, this data is stored, you can say, either in the form of files. What type of files? You can have what's that? Text files. You can have the data in what? Text files. You can have the data in what? Excel files. Okay, then we can also have the data in what? CSV files. Then we can also have the data in what? JSON files. Okay, JSON file. Then we can also have the data in that is nothing but ORC file.
Parquet file.
Yes, very good. So ORC file. That is optimized row column narratives. And then we have what is that? That is ORC files, then Parquet files. Etc. These all are the sources. That means the data which is generated by the social networking sites, or the data which is generated by us, or the data generated by the machine, or the banking applications, we have it. it can be stored, or we get this data, ultimately we can say we get this data either in the form of the following files. What are the files? It can be the file means what? Text file, Excel file, CSV file, JSON files, ORC files, and Parquet files. These are the various type of files from where we get the data. But files is not the only source from where we get the data, guys. We can also get the data from what? From the databases. We can also get the data from what? Databases. So now, guys, when we talk about the word called database, don't get panic. Database is nothing but, just come back, all of you, come to my desktop, everyone, just observe my desktop. I will now tell you what is a, guys, what is a basically a file. So guys, just I'm opening this one. What is the database? I'll tell you. Okay, nothing, need not worry. Just go here. Can you see? I'm opening some file. I'm opening it. Just have a look on this. Yes, 1 minute, it is opening. Now, guys, can you see here? This is some data. Everyone is able to see the file? Hello?
Yes, sir.
So this is some business data, you have it. Now, guys, this business data, this is some data. But here you have not so huge data. Okay, but some data is there. Okay, what is it? Around some 300 lines, 305 lines, 304 lines data is there. Likewise, if you have a very massive amount of data, that means if you have some, 50 GB of data is there. Suppose 50 GB of data is there. How much? 50 GB of data is there. Can we store 50 GB of data in a file? Can
No,
we
sir.
store the 50 GB of data in this Excel file? Is it possible, guys? My question.
No.
No, we can't store it. So now at that time, whenever you have such a massive amount of data, whenever you have a massive amount of data, we go and store the data in the database. One point. Second point is that whenever you want to put the data in the form of rows and columns, that means what? These are the columns. All of you, these are the columns, guys. These are the columns. Am I right? These are the columns. And the below are the rows. So whenever you want to put the data in the form of rows and columns, which is nothing but tabular formatted data, that is called as what? Tabular formatted data, guys. Everyone, tabular formatted data. Whenever you want a tabular formatted data, at that time we go and store the data. We go and store the data in the database only. Third reason why we store the data, I'll tell you. Now, I wanted to fetch those records where country is equal to India. I wanted to fetch those records where country is what? India. This is called as data query. I want to get only those records. I want to extract, pull in only those records where the country is India. Can you see India country? This is some sales data where you have country as a column, company name is the company name, we have it, the month in which the transaction takes place, and year of sale. So here I have country as a India. So I want to extract only those records where country is equal to, where country is India and the month is what? September. Country is India and the month is what? September. I want to extract this data. This kind of data is nothing but this kind of situation is called as what? Data query. So data query, solving the data query. So for solving the data query, it is not so easy. It is not so easy to solve the data query in Excel sheet. So for that reason, we go with the database. So there are three reasons why we go for a database. What is that, guys? First one is the storage. Whenever you have a massive amount of data to be stored, at that time we go. Whenever you have a massive amount of data to be stored, At that time, we go and store the data in the database. And the second reason is that, whenever you want to, whenever you want to, that is nothing but solve the data query. The second, or whenever you want to put the data in the form of rows and columns, we go and store the data in the database. And the third and the major reason is that whenever you wanted to solve the data query, solving data query means what? Just now I told you, I want only those records where country is equal to India and month is what? September. So this is called as solving the data query. So whenever we want the data query to be solved, at that time we go with what? Databases, rather than storing the data in what? An Excel file or any other file we have it. Getting my point? This is the reason why we use the database. These three major reasons. Of course, apart from this, we have many more, but these are the three major reasons we can say. So database is, you can say, just like your Excel file only, but it has a capacity of storing the massive amount of data. It has the capacity of storing the data in the form of rows and columns. It has the capacity of solving the data query. So we can say that the data can also be recorded. These business, that means the big data, we can get the big data, guys, everyone, we can get the big data. We can get the big data, guys. We can get the big data. We can get the big data from the following business. What is that? Social networking sites, human generated data, machine generated data, and banking applications, data generated by the banking applications. And this data, we can get it in the form of a files or else in the form of a databases. I told you what is the difference you have between the files and databases. Whereas the database can be what's that? Oracle database. Then you can have SQL Server database. Okay, then we can have what's that? Sybase database. Then we can have what's that? Informix database. And then we can have Teradata database. These are from various companies, various products. Oracle is from Oracle Corporation, like SQL Server is from the Microsoft Corporation, then etc. We have the even Teradata from the NCR Corporation. Like that, we have products of different companies. Whereas apart from this, now guys, the trending one, what is that? We also get the data, guys. We also get the data, or we can say we can also get the data. Nowadays, we are getting the data from what is that? From the live streaming data. We are also getting what's that? Live streaming data. So now, guys, what do you mean by live streaming, guys? We can also get the data from the live streaming. What do you mean live streaming, guys?
It was something the data which immediately happen and it is getting generated.
Just like your cricket score. Can you say it is a live streaming? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That is called as live streaming. In the same way, stock market data, which fluctuates every minute, is it a live streaming data?
Yeah, live.
Yeah, so this is nothing but live streaming data. We have what's that? Live streaming the data, which is that is nothing but recorded in live. That is nothing but called what? Live streaming data. So whenever you have the live streaming data, okay. So live streaming data, okay. So now, guys, live streaming data means what? The data which is recorded, that is live recording data. That's it. We can have what's that? Stock market data. We can also have the cricket match, etc., various streams right now. Okay. So these all can also be recorded here in the type of what is that? Some files, or sometimes the live streaming data. Mostly we don't store the live streaming data in the databases, or else we can say from the browsers. Browser means what? Chrome is one browser, guys. Chrome is one browser. So we can say the type of data. It can be HTML form, it can be the XML form, etc. These are the type of things we have it. Okay, where we store the data. So now, guys, this is nothing but the source. What is my? I'll just repeat it once again before we move ahead. Source of data is nothing but what? Source of data is nothing but what? Source of data is nothing but what? A place from where we get the data is called a source of data. Then we have the big data. Big data is nothing but what? Huge data, massive amount of data. So from where we get the massive amount of data? From the business. What are the business? It can be the social networking sites. It can be the human generated data. It can be the machine generated data. It can be the banking applications. And then we can also have what is that? Files, databases, or live streaming are the sources from where we get the data. So all of you clear now? Yes, guys.
Yes, sir.
The next one, sorry, types of data. Let us see what are the types of data. Types of data, guys. Types of data. So now when we talk about the types of data, means what, guys? Generally, when you talk about the types of data, generally when you talk about the types of data, we have three types of data, guys. Okay, we can have three types of data. Can have three types of data. The first one is what? So first one is what? We can have three
Boolean.
types of data. Yes, tell me.
Structured, semi-structured,
Very
unstructured.
good. Very good. Very good. So we can say what? Structured data. We can say what's that? Structured data. And then we can have what's that, guys? Second one is the semi-structured data. Very good. Semi-structured data. And then we can also have what's that?
Unstructured.
Unstructured data.
Unstructured data. So we can also have what's that? Unstructured data. Unstructured data. So we can have the data, what's that? These are the different forms from where that is we get the data. But that's structured, semi-structured, and unstructured. Okay, guys. So now, everyone. So let us discuss this data, guys. What is a structured, what is a semi-structured, and what is a unstructured? Okay. Just let us discuss this. Okay. So what is the structured data, guys? Structured data is nothing but the data which is kept, all of you. Structured data is nothing but the data which is kept in the proper form of a table. The data which is kept in the proper form of a table. The data which is kept in the proper form of a table. What is that? A table is the collection of what, guys? That's the table is a collection of, very good. So it's nothing but collection of rows and columns. So the data which is kept in the form of a rows and columns is referred as what? Table. Table. So now, guys, when we talk about this, the data which is referred or kept in the form of a rows and columns is referred as a table. So now, guys, for example, okay, for example, this is the data. Guys, everyone, can you see here? This is the data you have it. Okay. See here. Yes, guys, what is it? Can you see here? This is nothing but the column. This is nothing but what? Columns. And these are all the rows here. Can you see? These are all the rows here. See? See here? Just a minute. I'm just adjusting it. Okay, guys, everyone. Can you see here? This is nothing but the data kept in the proper form of rows and columns. This is nothing but the data kept in the form of what? Proper rows and columns, guys. This is called as a structured data. It is called as what? Structured data, where these are the columns and these the below are the rows. These are the columns and the below are the rows. These are the columns and below are the rows. That is nothing but rows and columns data. So the data which is kept in the proper form of rows and columns. The data which is kept in the proper form of rows and columns. The data which is kept in the form of proper rows and columns. The data which is kept in the form of proper rows and columns is called as what? Structured data. Is called as what? This kind of data is called as what, guys? Structured data. This is called as what? Structured data. That means already it is in the form of a structure. So simply the user has to use this data. This is called as a structured data. And the next one is called as what, guys? Semi-structured data. So what do you mean by semi-structured data? The data which is not purely in the form of a structure. The data which is not purely in the form of a structure, but still it has some structure, such as the data kept in the form of a JSON files, XML files, okay, HTML files. These are all the types of data where we can have the semi-structured data. We can have what's that? Semi-structured data. We can have what's that? Semi-structured data. Now, guys, when we talk about everyone, the JSON file, in the JSON file, the data, JSON stands for what? JavaScript object notation file. JavaScript object notation file. JSON stands for what? JavaScript object notation file. The JavaScript object notation file is called as what? JSON file. JavaScript object notation file. JavaScript object notation file is called as what? JSON file. So when we talk about the JSON file, the data is kept in the form of key value pair. The data is kept in the form of what? Key value pair. What is it? Key value pair. What is it? Key value pair. What is that? Key value pair. The data is kept in the form of key value pair. Now, guys, let us see what this key value pair is. How does it appear? Let us see it. Okay. So generally, when we talk about the JSON file, the data in the JSON file is kept. The JSON file is kept. Okay. The data in the JSON file is kept in the form of the curly braces, guys. These are called as the curly braces. This is called as the opening brace, and this is called as a closing brace. So between these two braces, the data radiates. How? Let us see. Suppose the same data I am writing it. Country, I am writing it. This line. Company, month, sales, I am writing this. Okay. So now, guys, here the data is kept in what? Key. The data is kept in what? Key here. The data is kept in what? Key. The data is kept in what? Key here. So what do you mean by key? The key is the country, that is called the column name. So always make sure the key is kept under the double quotes. What is the key? You have it. Country is the key. Country is the key. And now, guys, what is the value? What is the value?
India.
Very good. So India, as it is a character data, and we'll be putting up into the quotes, double quotes, comma. Next, tell me now, what is the next column?
Company.
Company. So we have the next column as a company, where this is called as a key, guys. This company is also what? Key. All the columns will become keys here. Okay. So now, guys, keys. And now tell me, what is the value? Litware. Okay. So we have this also character. So we can say this also the character data, and it is also kept under the that is nothing but quotes, comma. Next one. So what is the next one? You have it, guys. Month.
Month.
What is it? You have it. Month. So now copy this month. We have it. So this is month is the key. Month will become the key here. And now, sorry, month will become the key here. And now after this month, Then you have the value for it. What is the value? You have
March.
the, very good, March is the value. That's it. Now use a comma. And now guys, finally, what is the last key you have it? Can you tell me?
Sale 2019.
Sale 2019. This is also one of the key you can say. Now, tell me what's the value you have it?
4.99.
599.
4.99. As this is a numeric, need not, the data is not kept in the form of a quotes,
String.
double quotes. It's not a string. It is not a string. So now, guys, this is called as a JSON file, where the JSON file records the data in the form of what? Key and the value of the key. Together are called as what? Pair. Together are called as what? Pair. Hence, it is called as what? Key value pair. It is called as what? Key value pair. It is called as what? Key value pair. Key is the country, value is the India. Together, both of them are called as what? Key value pair. Okay, guys? So now this is called as one item. How this is how the data is recorded. So now this kind of data is recorded in the semi-structured format. Apart from this, guys, let us try to see the data. How the I'll just try. I wanted to show the format of data. So here, how the data is recorded in the XML file. So what does the XML stands for? Yes, anybody?
Standard markup language.
Extendable markup language.
Extendable markup language.
It is nothing but extendable markup language. Okay, extendable markup language. So here the data is recorded. Same data we will just see how the XML file writes the data in the semi-structured format. Let us see it here. Always, guys, the what is the table name you have it? The table name is the sales. The table name is what? Sales. Okay. So the table name is the sales, guys. Just a minute. Now, here, guys, the data is recorded in the XML file. In the XML file, the data is recorded in the form of a, what is that? Tags. These are called as tags. Tags. These are called as tags. The data is recorded in the form of what? Tags. The data is recorded in the form of what? Tags. Can you see it? Tags. And now, guys, this is how. Now let us fill it. Tags. There will be no commas here between one column to another column, guys. Now tell me, what is the, this is called as the root tag. It is called as what, guys, all of you? Root tag. R-O-O-T, root tag. So now this is the root tag. The name of the table will become the root tag. So what is my root tag? My root tag is the sales. Now these are called as what, guys? Row tags. These are called as what? Row tags. Root tags means the win, and the row tags, these are called as what? ROW, row. Row tags. So here we have the row tags. Just check it here. You have the row tag. First row tag. What did you have it? Tell me now. What is the first row tag you have it?
Country.
Very good. So country is the row tag. Row tag. And now, guys, this is also the row tag. Country is the row tag. Whereas this is called as the opening row tag. This is called as a closing row tag. For that we use this. Okay. Closing we have to use like this. Between the opening and closing, we will write the value. What is the value you have it? India.
Yeah.
Getting my point?
Okay.
So this is how. This is called as the opening row tag, and this is called as the closing row tag. And in between we write the value. In the same way, what is the next thing you have to tell me now? How do we write the next one?
Company.
Very good. So use the company as a row tag. And now company as the row tag. And now what is that value you have to tell me now?
Right where?
Okay.
Where?
Litware. That's it. Okay, fine. That's it now. And now close it.
Closing.
That's it now. Again, the next one, what is it you have to tell me now?
Month.
Month. Month. And now closing the month. So closing it with that. this thing.
Close
And here
tag.
you have value as what? March.
March.
That's it. Okay. And now, guys, next one, what is it? You have it?
Sales.
Sales.
Sale 2019.
Very good. 2019. And now again here you have what's it? Sales
Sales 2019.
2019. Very good. Now
Close
close it.
tag.
Yeah, close the tag and give the value. What is it?
4.99.
4.99.
Yeah, this is nothing but ultimately the data is kept in the form of a tags. Now, guys, you have closed all the row tags, but root tag you have opened it. Have we closed the root tag? No.
Not it.
Finally, close the root tag also. Getting my point?
Yes.
This is called as a opening root tag, and this is called the closing root tags. This is nothing but called as the opening row tag, and this is called as a closing row tag. The data is recorded in the form of a tags here. Getting my point? Whereas this kind of a data, that is the data which is recorded, here it is referred as what? Data in the JSON file format. The data is recorded, is referred in what format? JSON file format. JSON file format. All of you, okay, guys? JSON file format. Whereas apart from this, guys, the next one, what is it? You have it? Unstructured data. What do you mean unstructured data? Unstructured is nothing but, guys, all whatever we have seen it above. Can you see here? What is it? All social networking site data. This all comes under the unstructured data only. This all comes under what is that? Unstructured data, which does not have any structure. Which does not have any structure. Does your WhatsApp chat history has any structure? No.
No.
Facebook? No. All that is nothing but called as what? Unstructured data.
Unstructured.
So whereas 90% of the data you get it as an unstructured only. Voice notes, etc. 90% of the data you get it in which structure here? Unstructured data. 90% of the data you will get it in the unstructured form. Now, unstructured form only of the 10%. Within the 10%, you will get structured and semi-structured data. Actually, in the real time when you work, okay. 90% of the data you get it what? Unstructured only. So this is how we can have it. Now, guys, as the Azure data engineer, when we begin the process here, all of you, when you begin the process as a data engineer, Azure data engineer, here you will have the source now. It means all this entire story will be there. Structured, semi-structured, unstructured, all the story you will be here it only. So now as a Azure data engineer, what will be your job? Your job is to perform the extraction. That means pulling in the data, whether it is the structured form, unstructured form, or in the semi-structured form. It doesn't matter. You have to pull in the data, convert the semi-structured data or unstructured data into the proper structure form. That is the job of a data engineer. And using the Azure data engineering as a technique, we convert the semi-structured or unstructured data into the proper structure format. That means we get the data in this particular form, in the form of a proper rows and columns. And once we get the data in the form of these proper rows and columns, what we do, guys? We perform the transformation on the data, and then load the data into the target ultimately. Getting my point, all of you? Yes, guys? Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, all of you, what happened? I want to
Yes.
okay. So, guys, this is nothing but the process. So now, guys, further what we will see is how this data is stored. What is that? The structured, semi-structured, and unstructured, whatever the data you have it, how this is stored, where this is stored, okay, all these things. And in the Azure data factory, or in the Azure, we can say, where this data is stored, that we will see it in the next class, guys, okay. that we will see in the next coming class. Okay. And then afterwards, soon after which we will start even the practicals, how the data will move further. So guys, so that's it for the day. And when you talk about the subscription, so guys, I want everyone tomorrow, hopefully from tomorrow, we are going to start the practicals, guys. Tomorrow you will have the class. From tomorrow, we are going to start the practicals. So I want everyone, yes, everyone to have just take the subscription. How to take the subscription, I will tell you guys. Just open this browser. Yeah. Just to see here, guys, everyone, can you see it? This is the portal. Just open this portal. So use portal dot, all of you. So use it portal.azure.com. Use what's that? Portal.azure.com. So here you have it, portal.azure.com. You have portal.azure.com. Okay. Portal.azure.com. Here you have what's that? Portal.azure.com. So now, guys, can you see here, everyone? Portal.azure.com.
Sir, could you please mute the other person?
Yeah, I've just skipped it. So, okay, portal.azure.com. Can you see here? Portal.azure.com. Here we have it. So now, guys, once you are here, then you can start the process. Okay. So whereas how to go to this, how to start this? So for that, you have to go first of all to the azure.com. Use what is that? Azure.com. Use the azure.com. Everyone, use the azure.com. First of all, use what is that? Azure.com. Okay. You have to go to this azure.com. And on the azure.com, you can start the free account. Can you see here? You can use the free account here. Click on the free account. If you are a first time user, you can have the free account, or else if you are already using it, then you have to change the card, everything, and try out. So you'll get the free accounts. Okay. This free accounts, you will get it with some, okay, free credits. Some free credits will be there. Okay. That credits, you can use it. Can you see? Starts with $200 Azure credits. You will have 30 days to use it in addition to free service. Getting my point? You will have 30 days. That means altogether, if you use it properly, you can get it for at least 1.5 months to 2 months. You'll get this. Okay. So now just to start for free, you have to click. If I click on the start for free, it will drive me to my ID because already I have signed up. See, it is driving to my ID. If not, if it is you, then it will ask you all the details. You have to see clouds of Samir, ADF at Gmail, and the password if you have it. So ultimately, when you click on the finally sign in, it will reroute you to this particular portal. What is that? Portal.azure.com. It will reroute you to what? Portal.azure.com. Clear, everyone? Portal.azure.com. That's it. Okay. So portal.azure.com. So now based on this, we are going to move with the practicals from tomorrow, guys. Okay? So I want everyone to just see this, okay, and take the subscription before we start the process here, guys. Okay. Yeah, everyone is okay now. So guys, just to go through this once before we end the class. See here, what is that? We have the source of data. So ADF is used to what? Perform the job of ETL. And whereas the ETL requires the source and target, and source means what? Source of data. Data means what? Ultimately big data, you can say. And these are the sources from where we get the big data. And big data can be in the form of files, databases, or live streaming data. And this data can be types. What's that? Structured, which is nothing but in the form of proper rows and column. Semi-structured in the form of a JSON or XML or HTML, you can say. Okay. And unstructured, there is no structure for the data. So whereas our job as a data engineer is to get the unstructured data or structured data or semi-structured data and perform the job of transformation and then perform the job of loading ultimately into the target system. Okay, guys. So that's it for the day, guys, today. And this tomorrow we'll continue the same time. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Tomorrow is Saturday, right? So you are
Yeah,
taking
we'll have a class tomorrow because I'm taking the classes for other batches also. So when I take the class for other batches, I will have all the batches. When I don't take the classes for any batch, then it will be a complete holiday. Okay. Mostly we will not have
Sir,
it,
hi
but
sir. I have one doubt, sir.
please go ahead.
We have course content, sir. Actually, DURGASOFT shared on course content. Can we follow that course content, sir?
Generally, I don't follow the course content, guys. The course content is designed as per the training environment. And we will be seeing from the implementation real-time point of view. Everything I'll go in that way only. That is elaboratedly written. Like, how it is written, I'll tell you. See, big data means elaboratedly, something like huge data. Okay, that means things are elaboratedly written there. It is not like that because it is written only purely for the training purpose. But here we are going to see the real-time implementation training, how the case studies work. Actually, what is the complexity you are going to face? The things in very much detail we are going to.
Okay, then, sir.
So, sir, in the course content, whatever it is mentioned, all you are going to cover,
Topics
right?
is covered.
Yeah.
Topics, more than that, topics will be covered.
But not in
Topics
the
wise,
sequence way.
but not in the sequential order. But topics more than that is covered.
Thank you, sir.
Can you share that this notepad notes for daily?
Pardon me?
Are you shared to this notepad data for every day?
Basically, you will have the recording. Na? Recording
Okay.
is shared. In recording, obviously, you'll have this notepad. So even I don't save this notepad on a daily basis.
Okay.
Because even I don't save this notepads. It is just for typing purpose I use it. If you want, I can share. That's not a big deal.
Okay.
Anyways, you'll
I
have
think,
the
sir,
recording.
yeah.
Yeah, tell me.
If you share this one, so we'll make a note, right? Not
Yeah,
for
definitely.
It is more
Material will be
important.
provided to you. Don't worry.
Okay, material then fine, sir.
Material is there. Material will be there. It will be given a soft copy of the material. The material.
Yeah, then that's fine. So,
Okay. Anything else?
Did you cover the Azure Synapse?
Yes, of course. Yes, I cover this Azure Synapse also. Azure Synapse, Cosmos DB, and Azure Logic Apps. Okay, the new topics which we have added now. So Azure Logic Apps, which you may find it in the brochure or may not. Okay, Azure Logic Apps, and apart from this, even we have a bus. Okay, Airbus. All these are the things we have added from this badge of.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. So guys, I'm ending the class. Thank you everyone. So we'll meet tomorrow the same time. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.